everyone. Welcome to part 2 of this short series on K-pop idols with fans. Last time I focused on the racial side, and today we're just going to talk about the purely obsessive fans all around and everything that's wrong with them. So first, koreaboos. Everyone knows about them. Everyone's seen the cringe compilations on YouTube of them trying to be Korean. These fans are a danger because they don't necessarily fetishize in the traditional way of like sexualizing, but they imitate and copy the parts of Korean culture that they find cute or interesting and try to apply it to their life and personality. This is just bad because they make their entire lives about this one part of what they think Korean culture is. Like gluing your eyelids to get monolids and saying random broken phrases in Korean and being weirdly obsessed with K-pop idols is not Korean culture. And it's just disrespectful and cringy. Not only are like actual fans of Korean music and culture telling you to stop, but Korean people themselves are telling you to stop. And they do not see it as you being invested or curious about their country or culture. You're just disrespecting and mocking it. I saw a video online the other day of this girl as like one of those weird public social experiments where she just went up to Korean men on the street and started hugging them. I'm not even sure what they were trying to prove with this experiment, but it was so clear that the dudes in the video were so uncomfortable with being touched. And I don't know why she thought it'd be entertaining or okay or even a good idea, but approaching someone and touching them isn't okay to do to anyone, let alone Korean guys, just so that you could get a reaction out of them. I also personally think that koreaboos come in different forms or different levels, I guess you could call it. And we always focus on like the diehard koreaboos who are like very obvious, but like we often disregard like the sort of casual koreaboos who aren't as vocal and obvious all the time. Like people who think they can dictate what Korean culture is or how K-pop idols should act. And I cannot tell you how many times I've seen non-Korean stans get mad at idols for not bowing or being disrespectful when they're not even Korean. You're not an authority on Korean culture just because you are a K-pop stan, and you just look stupid, and Korean people think so too. I think stans just use that to push fan wars and all around dumb controversy out of nothing, when in reality they don't actually care about Korean culture or the honorifics at all. But anyways, moving on. Lately, sasaengs have been a very hot button topic lately because of BTS's latest run-ins with them and just stalkers in general. It's very disturbing. Definitely one of the worst sasaeng occurrences I've heard of has been with the group TVXQ, and this is just a couple of the terrible things that their stalkers have done. Their sasaengs have made copies of the group's apartment keys, snuck into their apartments and physically violated them, found their family's phone numbers and called them, tapped their cell phones, and was a direct cause of a car crash they were in, and gave them menstrual blood as a present, and then even gave one of the members a drink laced with super glue, which caused him to go to the hospital and need therapy after for his anxiety. These deranged people are so dangerous and really need help. Some companies have condemned these fans to protect their artists, blacklisting them and even exposing some of their identities. But you'd be surprised at how many popular fan sites are actual stalkers of these idols, and I think there is a line. You cannot be following idols onto their flights on airplanes, tracking their hotel, and waiting hours outside of where they live just to see them. Wanting to meet your idols is fine, but you need to realize that they're people as well and they need their own space and privacy. And I personally think that these are one of the worst types of obsessive fans because of how dangerous they are physically, mentally, emotionally, and to just other people. The only advice I can give is please don't support like sasaengs who follow people around or like fan sites who like exude that behavior. Just just ignore them, please. Do not even get me started on Dispatch. Dispatch to me are the stalkers of K-pop idols and only set out to ruin their careers and lives. Outing their relationships as scandals and making controversies out of nothing, they are literally the worst. I don't even think I can like label them as sasaengs, but they are just one of the worst things about Korean media and should just be canceled and abolished, period. Okay, moving on. People wanted me to talk about overly obsessive hard stans and fans who take shipping too seriously. The thing is, like with koreaboos and sasaengs, is that people understand and pretty much know that they're bad. Like their purpose is pretty transparent, like they're offensive and they're ignorant and they're a danger to K-pop idols. But with these other types of fans, people defend them and say that they're not as bad or innocent. First, the heart stands, or fans who are sexually attracted to their bias. Now, I obviously don't think there's anything wrong with having those feelings towards your bias. There are plenty of pages dedicated to idols being hot or attractive, and that's nothing new. Just like there are pages of them being soft or cute or whatever. But some people have problems with them sexualizing idols so often. Now, I think 90% of the time, I think it's fine and that people are overreacting to fans who are attracted to idols. I'd say it's definitely not that deep and can also be compared to soft stands even, but I will admit that sometimes it's a problem. I think it becomes a problem when you are saying these things at idols and they become uncomfortable. Like I know a very, very long time ago, the rapper Cupcake tweeted Jungkook or like BTS a very sexual tweet and armies were mad because she was being inappropriate. Even though if you know who Cupcake is, you know that she's like that literally all the time. But I think here's the thing. I agree that her behavior of calling him out and tweeting directly like that was a really bad idea. And no one should ever speak like that to someone since it's such an uncomfortable situation. But there are thousands of stans who talk about their biases like that every day and definitely have said more explicit things. So I think there's two sides to it. As long as you're not targeting them, I think it's fine. The other type of fans people are annoyed with are the delusional shipper fans, specifically the ones who ship idols in different and sometimes the same groups. I'll say that shipping idols is fun and harmless up to a certain point. Some people genuinely believe some of these idols are together, and even though it's fun to think about, it's just not realistic. The other day, I saw someone shipping a member of TXT and Lisa together, and it's like, y'all are like racing out to put anyone together, literally anyone. And it's like, just rest for a day, like seriously. This definitely could be harmful to idols. That's why at public events, idols never interact because they know how crazy people are. Pushing relationships and trying to prove they're real can be pretty dangerous. If a relationship is real, that's great and they should be able to be together without the pressure of others watching their relationship like a hawk. But if they aren't together, it could be detrimental to their friendship and have a negative impact. I mean, a big part of idols doing fan service and all that is just to please fans who like seeing them be affectionate, even if at some degrees it makes them uncomfortable. So I think that it could definitely not be a good thing. With all these fans I've mentioned, please do your best to avoid and not be one of them. They're some of the most toxic fans ever, and hopefully this just sheds some light on how bad that these people can be. And if you haven't already, check out my first video I made in this series about the racial side of all this and how that also is detrimental. But anyways, I'll see you guys next week with another video. So see you later.